I just saw a video of Kamala Harris speaking, and she looks drunk, she looks incoherent, and holy freaking crap, we dodged a bullet. I mean, Donald Trump literally dodged a bullet for democracy. We know what's best for us. Glad we all participated in bringing a true leader back into the White House. God bless America, guys.
A few moments later.
I'm sorry to my community for voting the way I did. Now I can empathize and sympathize with the black community. Now that it's here with us too, it's like crap. I honestly, legitimately didn't think it was real. But it's real as hell. And it's obviously minority groups that are targeted and persecuted. I didn't fucking vote for this. Number one, imagine that they give you a freshly squeezed lemonade, and then you drink it and you enjoy it. What?
And now, with your brown ego bruised and your crumbled white fantasy, you come crawling back with your watered down lemonade analogy. Here's another example that internalized racism is costly. He's only leaving MAGA now because he's just figured out that no matter how hard he betrays his own people, no matter how far he's shoved his tongue up white supremacy's ass, they still rejected him. You pretended like you didn't know racism exists for black people. You pretended racism didn't exist for you or your Latino community either. You truly believed that if you backstabbed your own people hard enough, if you spewed white supremacist talking points hard enough, demonized black and brown people, and played the obedient mouthpiece, you'd win their approval. You didn't just ignore racism, you became a willing tool of it. You helped elect a white supremacist into power, fully aware of what he was. You thought proving your loyalty to whiteness would make you immune. Instead, you might just find yourself in alligator Alcatraz.
It sure is annoying hearing ignorance come out of someone's mouth, despite all the education that has been offered by the access, even of the media, you know. I'm going to leave this whole confessional talk or him talking about his new realization by the end of the video. So keep watching. For now, let's hear what people have to say in response to him finally feeling like he empathizes with black people. Subscribe and let me hear what you have to say in the comment section down below.
If y'all had the same smoke for white supremacy that you have for black people over shit that we had nothing to do with, y'all might actually be able to get somewhere. I don't understand how consistently when other minorities are going through something, they find a way to drag black people into it. And essentially, it's crazy because y'all be trying to blame us for stuff that has roots in white supremacy, imperialism, and colonization, all of which we had nothing to do with. It's literally just a bunch of redirected anger. Instead of going after the people that's actually oppressing you, you're spending time on black people because y'all feel like black people are easy target. Not to mention that we are expected to be at the forefront of everyone else's fight, and people just call us into action as if we just some rare Yu-Gi-Oh card. Y'all will spend more time arguing about where are the black people, why aren't black people speaking on this, and expecting us to be a martyr rather than actually fighting against the people who are actually oppressing you. Black people are not your scapegoat just because you're scared of white people. Like, a lot of y'all need to get that through your head. And this is why I don't believe in the idea of people of color and black people being interchangeable, because time after time, these people will show us that they are not on the same playing field as us. Instead of wanting to be unified, they want to show just how far away from black people that they are. But in the same token, when shit hits the fan, they want our help. No. Now, I'm not saying that we can't stand in solidarity, but we shouldn't have to spearhead every movement. And I think that's what a lot of people were waiting on, and are waiting on, I should say. All in all, y'all need to have that same smoke for white people that you have for black people, but we know that you don't because a lot of y'all are scary. And don't make it our problem because you scary.
Now I can empathize and sympathize with the black community. I've never been able to do that.
Because you're whitewashed. That's why you were unable to empathize and sympathize, because you're whitewashed. You don't have to be white to be an agent of white supremacy. You actively voted that ... back into office, and in one of your videos you implied that Madam Vice President was inebriated during the only presidential debate that took place. And now you realize that they have always seen you as less than human too. The same way that they see us. And you may have even seen us as less than human. Have you dismantled your anti-blackness yet? And now here we are. And it wasn't just black folks, especially black women, including Madam Vice President, who said this was going to happen. Your boy said he was going to do all this stuff too. So you denigrated not only the black community, but the people within your own community who did not vote for this. Take your empathy and
I feel like we're beating a dead horse at this point because we warned ahead of time. We warned while it was happening. Now I'm gonna say this again. Project 2025 it definitely mentioned the Latino community, and I know for a fact it was translated into Spanish so that everyone else could read it. And we warned you that this would happen, that they'd start harassing Latinos at a much higher rate. Y'all didn't believe black people because nobody ever thinks that black people are truly experiencing what they're experiencing. They always think that it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. Y'all are just overinflating it. Oh, because it didn't happen to this black person, that it doesn't actually happen, when in fact it definitely does. Listen, I don't have to be a black man and know that black men get harassed by the police because I've literally witnessed it. But I didn't need to witness it to know that it happens. Because if you've ever hung around with police officers, they'll tell you this the same way that my neighbor and this man I've known my whole life, my whole childhood, told me directly, don't trust cops. Don't hang out with cops. Keep your distance from cops. Keep your hands visible. Don't reach into your pockets. Don't do anything sudden. Just don't trust cops, okay? Don't mouth off to them. Don't trust cops. This man ain't said hardly a couple sentences to me, said these words to me when I was a kid. I still remember it. Was an officer for like 20 something years, went into retirement and passed away a few years later. Was my neighbor for so many years. And this is something that happens to rinse and repeat. Like they tell you, don't trust the cops, okay? And so black people know not to trust the cops because of our experiences, but we warn everybody else, and everybody else just shuts us down. They think, oh, we're just being over dramatic. Oh, if we just didn't do this, then we'd be treated right. But I'm gonna tell you, realistically, none of that shit actually matters. It don't matter. It don't matter. Because realistically, that's how people treat us. That's how they see us. We're threats. We're worthy of being treated with aggression. That's it. That's how they see black people. And so now you're starting to understand it from a different perspective, because it's not about them seeing you as violent criminals. It's that they see you as just in general criminals that don't belong here. And this little Asian community who's also realizing that they also don't see you as an American citizen. Yeah, it's noted. It's noted. Y'all are the most silent with your own people being carted off. Y'all don't see it as a problem. But hey, listen, when your friends start getting carted off because, hey, they had an issue with their paperwork and the citizenship, I want you to remember this moment. I want you to remember it. You voted for it. Now, I know less Asians voted for this than Latino, which I'm actually surprised by, because I expected more Asians to vote in favor of Trump, considering a lot of the majority of the Asian population here in America come from China. But and a lot of people who came from China are very anti-liberal policy. But even still, a lot of Asians voted in favor of Kamala. I was surprised by that, but it's not like it's a big margin between Latino and Asian communities. Ultimately, everybody's going to suffer because of the decisions y'all made, because y'all got caught up with the okie doke. As we always tell you, stop listening to that. Listen to what they're actually planning. Because what people say when they're on a rally and what they're actually gearing up to do is often two distinctly different things, especially in Trump's world, because we had the information on Project 2025 ahead of time. We saw who he was nominating, who he was selecting to give him advice, and there was plenty of warning signs ahead of time. Everything was translated into Spanish. I know, and I remember. It was translated into Spanish, and y'all still ignored it. There's nothing that anybody could have said or done to change you all's mind, because you hated liberal policies enough, because you got caught up in the stupid shit that wasn't even that important.
You know, one of the most awful things about poorly teaching American history and barely teaching Black American history in this country, one of the awful consequences of that is that, listen, if you just look at immigrants to the country, no matter where they're from, immigrants to the country who through some process become either a citizen, a green card holder, or a naturalized citizen, or dreamer, all these different versions, right? And who attend United States schools, public, private, it doesn't matter. But they're getting an education in this country. And one of the awful effects of the lack of rigorous interrogation and teaching around Black history, and I'm talking about from preschool through graduate school, is that you have people who come from countries who also have a racial issue in their countries, particularly if we just focus away from Europe. Like we get that whole Europe thing, we get because we're blasted with it. But let's just focus on people coming from South and Central America, where Black people exist, where Afro-Latino people exist, where many of these countries were participants in the slave trade, and many who have significant populations of Black people who are underrepresented in leading their governments, but who are overrepresented in the effects of racism and colorism. Like, this is a problem in Central and South American countries. We know that. So we don't have to act surprised or shocked. But then in coming to this country, what happens, people get a lack of understanding of Black American history over and above things they just get on international news, right? And over and above they get from our culture that propagates from this country out to the world, is that many bring the biases they already have against Black people from their own countries, and they bring them to this country, and they can become successful, they can make money, they can be accepted in communities, white communities and others, because of, and if they are against Black people, Black Americans. And now what has happened, you have all these people, these brown people from these countries, Central and South America, but also the Caribbean, who are being rounded up and hunted and treated as runaway slaves as we were. The slave catchers are after them. The due process is gone, and you are feeling the effects of things that we have tried to teach the world, but more importantly, we have tried to teach people here in this country about how this country operates and how it treats Black Americans. And unfortunately, too many people refuse to get that lesson. And so one of the effects we are seeing is you see people from Central and South America and the Caribbean who celebrate what's happening, who are on the side of white supremacy, of oppression, and of targeting people who look like us, look like me, look like you, Afro-Latino, Latino, from all color ranges. And it's very sad. And so now we're, in 2025, we're going to try to roll this stuff back. And we have a significant part of the population, brown people and some Black people, who have aligned themselves with white supremacy. And they believe that they are Republicans because they think, oh, this is the way to go because you can find success and money and acceptance by being a part of that political group and attacking us. And now that attack has done a reverse Uno, and it's come right back to them in their communities. And it doesn't matter if you're the model minority, if you have a business, if you've done things the right way. They're picking you up in immigration court. They're picking you up in schools and hospitals, in churches, wherever you are, regardless of what you have done and regardless of how good of a U.S. citizen you've been. It doesn't matter if your grandfather's been here for 20, 30, 40 years. It doesn't matter if your kid was born here. They are attacking you. And Black people, we shouted from the rooftops. We shouted from the rooftops. If there's no safety and equality for us, there won't be for you. You have next. You don't always know it, but you always got next. We're always the canary in the coal mine. We're always the frog in the pot of boiling water. You can see what is happening to us. It's going to happen to you. It's just a matter of time. And we've been saying that for 400 years. That we brought over a group of people. We didn't bring over, but a group of people that come to this country, which is wonderful. The more the merrier, I say. And unfortunately, bringing their own biases, adding those to the biases and to the lies that are taught in this country, many people think we are the enemy. That something's wrong with us, that their lives, your lives are not good because Black people. You fell for what black people call, you fell for the okie dokie, and now that okie dokie is being thrown right back at you, and it's awful to see. And I hope lessons are being learned, but before it's too late.
Sorry to break it to you, but you were taught whitewashed history from white authors, and I'm going to explain how this plays a key role into our imposter syndrome and why we have a lot of Latinos voting for Trump. If you were taught real history, you were taught why Mexico actually lost their country through deceit. They had to give it up because they had no choice. Or better yet, you would have been taught how it was legal in Texas to lynch Mexicans. What about that the U.S. has been using delousing procedures with Zyklon B and other chemicals to clean Mexicans at the border that were coming here to work, and these same procedures were used to inspire Nazi gas chambers? Weren't you taught about the Zoot Suit riots here in LA? Why weren't you taught that indigenous people, aka Mexicans, and all of those people that come from Latin America were also enslaved next to our black brothers and sisters? That we were also not allowed to go into the restaurants or their theaters, or better yet, how we weren't allowed to use the pools until the very last day prior to cleaning because we were deemed as dirty. Prior to Brown versus Board of Education, it was actually a Mexican and Puerto Rican family that helped desegregate the schools here in California in the OC. And that case is known as Mendez versus Westminster. And the young lady that went into that school first, the desegregated school, is actually still alive today. You can look it up. How about why were you not taught about the Chicano movement and how hard we worked after desegregation to get brown teachers into the school so people would not make fun of our names anymore? Or better yet, how we were tired of the Latina women asking for clarity in their education only to be told there's no point in teaching you this because you're going to end up pregnant anyways. Why is it that in black and brown communities, we are taught that voting doesn't fucking matter and everything is rigged? If it did not matter, why are they burning ballots? Is there voter intimidation? I lived in the South outside of this progressive bubble that is LA. And let me tell you, their racism is right in your face. They tell you that you don't deserve to be here. They tell you how stupid you are. And I'm here to let you know you need to go to school. Ain't no way the Chicano movement fought for us to get a better education. The Chicano movement asked and fucking demanded that we had Chicano studies. You don't know this. They don't want to teach you that we fought for this shit. They don't want to teach you that we fought for the right to vote, or better yet, that we fought for our fucking juries to look like us, because the reason we were getting killed through the death penalty or in prison is because white peers were judging us. You weren't taught this shit in order to divide us. Because if you somehow think that you're better than black people or you're better than anybody else, you are gonna then vote white. You are not white. You are not. We have suffered the same fate as our black brothers and sisters, but it is not publicized because the U.S. wants to continue the fucking narrative that just because you're black, you're born criminal, and they are not. I'm gonna fucking check every Hispanic or Latino's fucking prejudice and racism. I'm tired of this anti-blackness. I'm fucking tired of it. It doesn't only just happen to the African American community. Anti-blackness exists on an Afro-Mexican level and Afro-Latino level, and I need us to fucking wake the fuck up. Start questioning everything. Question everything and think critically. Everything that you fucking know, ask yourself, who taught me that? Who taught me to be Christian? Who taught me to hate these people? Who taught me to not believe in myself? Why don't I feel like I belong? Who taught me that I was Mexican, El Salvadorian, Guatemala? What does that mean? What's underneath nationality? Who am I really? Because if you dig even deeper, you're gonna fucking know that we all came from Africa. You're also going to know that we are indigenous and that the term Latino and Hispanic was coined by white people. Why would I say I'm Latina and Hispanic? From the people that fucking persecuted, murdered, and committed genocide against my own people. Why the fuck would I do that? I need you to start learning and start reading and start decolonizing your mind. Right now is the time. The earth is demanding it. The people are demanding it. And if you keep siding with these white people, just fucking wait, because you're next.
Latinos in the United States have not earned the support of black people for us to be demanding, oh yeah, why aren't they coming out to protest with us? Why aren't they engaging in activism with us? Because we haven't earned it at all, in the slightest. Or did you guys forget that 46% of all eligible Latino voters voted for Donald Trump in the 2024 presidential election? Or how about the fact that racism, anti-blackness, colorism, all of these things are still very much pervasive in our communities? Bro, Latinos haven't even reconciled with the fact that they can't use the N-word unless they're also black themselves, because Afro-Latinos exist. Oh, and if we're talking about Miami, oof, you'll see the whitest MAGA Latinos be like, bro, but I grew up in the hood. I grew up around black people. In Overtown or in Liberty City, I could say it, bro. No one's going to stop me from saying it. It's my right. I'm not racist. I have a black friend. We haven't even gotten over that. And we want black people to go to protest with us, to engage in activism with us, putting their lives, their freedom, their bodies on the line? No. I completely understand any black person that wants to just disengage, disregard us. I get it, guys. I really, really do. And we, as Latinos, as a collective, should not be harboring resentment against black people, criticizing them, getting angry at them, questioning them. No. No. Because we've earned this. They are completely justified in feeling the way they feel and doing what they're doing. Now, I would like to give a message to the black folks watching this video. You are completely justified in your feelings and in doing what you're doing, and I respect it. But please remember that black folks are also being affected by this persecution of undocumented migrants. And I feel like that's not talked about enough either. Here, Miami, Florida is the best example. Haitians, Jamaicans, Bahamians, Afro-Cubans, Afro-Hondurans, Garifunas, black people from all over Latin America and all over the world, Africans, just so many black people that are also undocumented that are really being affected by the persecution of this administration. And of course, much like any other entity in space, black folks in immigration detention centers, in the immigration system, are treated worse than their white, Latino, Asian counterparts. So it's really important to acknowledge that and just let you guys know. But yeah, Latinos, we need to tighten up. If you guys want the support of the black community, then earn it. Demonstrate that we can solve these issues of racism in our own communities, and please stop saying the N-word. If you're not black, don't say the N-word. It's really simple, actually.
I just saw a video of Kamala Harris speaking, and holy freaking crap, we dodged a bullet. I mean,
You are the bullet. Your sick, pathetic obsession with earning white approval from people who openly despise your existence helped push this entire country toward collapse. You didn't just put yourself in danger, you dragged your entire community down with you. You sold out your own community, leaving women, children, and hardworking people to be hunted, brutalized, and criminalized by the very people you beg for acceptance from. You willingly volunteered to be a weapon against your own people. You are the bullet. Selfish Latinos like this will sacrifice everything for white approval and will only change their mind when they don't get that approval. They are not to be trusted, because the second a Latino like this is offered a tiny scrap of white acceptance, he will backstab his own community again. He will degrade his own self again for those tiny scraps of white acceptance. There are too many in the Latino community who are still so indoctrinated to still assimilate to whiteness, and he is one of them. A lot of us who vote Democrat, it's not because we are loyal to the party. It's because there are only two viable options, and one is clearly better not only for our community, but all marginalized communities and poor people, including poor white people. But that's probably too deep of a conversation for someone who just discovered racism is real last week.
I'm sorry to my community for voting the way I did. I acknowledged the mistake earlier, but it's different. When you acknowledge something, it's kind of like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. When you say I'm sorry, it's more like, yeah, I fucked up. And I think I fucked up. Obviously, my one vote didn't make the difference, but it contributed. And I don't even know why I was like so bent out on the price of eggs, price of gas and shit. I have a fucking Tesla. I'm blessed enough to not know how much milk or eggs or none of that bullshit cost. I just go and buy it. My dumbass was joining the propaganda. Oh, look at all these people. They can't afford homes. Blah, blah, blah. I can go buy another fucking house. I fucked up royally. And so now, yes, at least I'm marching. I'm doing some research, spreading the word. But I truly wish that I was on the right side of history from the get-go. Not for selfish reasons, but because had I been, at least I would not have contributed to all these people that are being hurt in our community. I wouldn't have contributed to fucking U.S. citizens being arrested because God decided to use more melanin when he was creating them. I wouldn't have contributed, and I wish that was the case. But I fucked up, so I'm sorry. But you have my word that moving forward, I'm going to be on the right side of history. Now I can empathize and sympathize with the black community. I've never been able to do that before because I would hear them say things like, oh, you know, we walk down the street and we get profiled and, you know, cops will just suddenly stop and frisk or whatever just because of the color of their skin. And I always thought like, you know, it's a little bit of a stretch. It feels like a little bit of a stretch. That person must be doing something, right? And obviously I've never experienced that before. I've never felt that way before and stuff. And so I always thought like, ignorantly, by the way, on my part, thinking like, you know, I think you guys are, because I'm brown, you know, I've never felt that and stuff like that, you know, I'm also a minority. But now, with us, it wasn't the cops. Cops aren't just randomly like, go and checking in the past. But now it's our turn, right? Now we feel it. Now we feel like, crap, can I just go down the street? Do I need my paper? You know, it's like, why are you stopping me? I'm a U.S. citizen. What the, we're not doing anything wrong. And now we're being persecuted. And so now I'm thinking like, crap, this is what the black community meant, you know? And I kind of feel bad. Well, I don't kind of feel, I feel bad because I never really could understand where they were coming from or where you guys were coming from. But I can assure you that now that it's here with us too, it's like, crap. I honestly, legitimately didn't think it was real. But it's real as hell. And it's obviously minority groups that are targeted and persecuted pretty much. And it's right now with us is because we're brown. You guys have had your turn when, you know, cops were just in bigger cities, urban areas, stopping disproportionately, you know, the black community and stuff. And I just want to say, like, I guess now I understand. I think moving forward, there's going to be a little bit more unity because we now can see where you guys are coming from. Well, at least I can, you know. And so, yeah, guys, I just want to say sorry for being ignorant before, but I hope this unites all communities, not just minorities, and call out things for what they are, regardless of the race.